What's up, YouTube? This is a video for a 2003 Suzuki Hayabusa that I'm getting rid of. 2003 model. It's got about 22,000 miles on it. Got a lot of extras done to it. It's got front and rear suspension done by Dave Moss at Catalyst Reaction, where this was actually before Dave Moss was with Catalyst Reaction. It's back when it was with GP suspensions. But the front's been revalved. It's got stainless steel brake lines for the front. It's got Galfer pads. It's got a TTX Ohlins TTX 36 rear shock. I don't know if you can see it down in there, but there's the reservoir for it. Moss did, like I said, front and rear. He set it up. I've actually had to a shop a few times for setup. He's got it all dialed in. It's sprung for anywhere between about 190 and 210 pound rider. Like I said, if you fall in that weight range, it's good to go. It'll actually go a little higher, a little lower with some tweaks, but if you're in that range, it's 100% ready to go. Full Akrapovic titanium exhaust. It's the full system, and it's a titanium system, not the race stainless. It's got Bridgestone BT16 Pros on it right now on a 190/55 profile, which tend to work better on this bike. Like how the turn-in is a lot better on the 55 profile. And I do have a brand new set of the new S20 Bridgestones, Battle Axe S20 and a 190/55, and then a front, the 120/70 that go with it, because the back on this one's getting pretty close to the wear indicators. So it's just about had it in the rear, but like I said, there's a brand new set with it. It's got 22,384 miles on it, and it's got like billet top clamp. That's good if you want to lower it, like if you want to drag race or something like that, or adjust the ride height, you can. It's got Healy bars on it, which give you, I think, a little over an inch rise, and then like a 3/4 inch setback. It does make it a lot more comfortable, especially on long trips. A lot more comfortable than the standard bars. Standard bars come straight out of here, and then you have a farther reach to them. The trunk, it's got a power commander, PC3 USB power commander. It's got the factory tool kit. I bought this used at BMW. So the thing's filthy. It's been sitting in the garage for about 6 months on a battery tender. So I'm getting rid of it. I just don't ride the thing. But I bought it used from BMW in Modesto, and they got me in contact with the original owner, is how I got the Healy bars. He had them, or so I talked to him and got kind of the maintenance history and everything on it. And the guy was like 65 years old. He bought it new, so I basically got it. I'm second owner of it. He bought it new. He traded in for a BMW like K1200, like touring bike. He said he had about 6 bikes or V-Stroms and stuff like that, and this was he was just getting a little too old for the riding position or whatever. So I think I got it. I picked it up about 3 years ago with, I think it had just over 10,000 miles on it when I picked it up. I've serviced it. I've done all the maintenance about every 2,000 miles. Did a full oil change and filter change. Run Canon oil filters. It's got a Canon air filter in as well, with synthetic oil. So I used the actually Rotilla T6 synthetic is what I run in this. Been a good oil, running a lot of stuff. A lot of my dirt bikes and 450s and stuff. Tags are paid up until August of next year, 2014. It is a clean title bike. I do have the title in hand in my name, so there's no issues as far as transfer goes. Like I said, it's been a good bike, solid bike, runs good. That exhaust sounds really good, and actually it's really mellow, almost, I would say. I would say almost too mellow on the low end. It's actually fairly quiet. It opens up about 5,000 RPM or so, and it has a really good note to it. But so this thing's been sitting. It's got a battery tender that goes with it. It's the exhaust. But overall, great bike. If you're into kind of canyon carving, this is the setup as far as Hayabusa goes. I've had this thing up down 49. I couldn't tell you how many times. And if you can ride corners, this thing will hang right there with you. It's funny to see the look on a guy's face when you go by him on the inside. He's riding a 600 and he sees this Busa coming around, dragging knee on the inside. Kind of an eye opener. So anybody that says these things can't handle just can't ride. These things actually handle pretty well, especially with the setup with the suspension. All the maintenance is up to date. Coolant's been changed about a year ago. The coolant was flushed. All the brake and clutch reservoirs were flushed. It's got a Canyon air filter. It was cleaned probably about 4,000, 5,000 miles ago, something like that. But the coolant's nice and green. You look at the reservoir bottle down there. It's due probably here pretty quick for a chain and sprocket. That's about the only thing that's really up for maintenance, time to change is chain and sprocket. It'll be due probably the next couple thousand miles. Other than that, you can get on and ride this thing wherever. It's been a great bike. I just don't ride it anymore. I just sold my ZX-10 for the same reason. I just don't ride. So I'd like to see it go to someone who actually put some use in it. Good bike. Probably one of my more favorite road bikes I've ever owned. Just because it is comfortable. It does handle. You can ride this thing, a 300-mile trip or something back and forth, and it's not a backbreaker. You're so sore you can't really sit on a thing like some of the bikes I've owned. So it is a comfortable bike, and it does have power. Of course, it is a Hayabusa. I had it dynoed last season, and I want to say it put out 158, I think, to the rear wheel, 159, something like that. It almost getting close to 100 foot-pounds of torque. I want to say it was like 96, but I can't remember off the top of my head. 96, 97 foot-pounds of torque, but plenty to get up and moving. It gets out of its own way, that's for sure. But like I said, I hate to see it go, but it is a nice bike. So I'm going to ask a reasonable price for it. I've been looking on Craigslist the last couple of days at what people are asking for them, and I think the cheapest one I found was $5,000 with a clean title for an 03, which to me, I want to sell mine, so I'm obviously going to price it lower than that because I do want to sell it. I just don't want to put it up there for people to see. I want to get rid of it and move on to bigger, better things, I guess. So anyways, if you see this and you like what you see, hit me up. I'll have my email on the Craigslist ad, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.